Citrus update for March 8th, 2026. These are all the potted citrus minus the kumquat. Since it's been raining, I have to put that in the shade. It's full of fruits, and otherwise with all the water intake, the fruit will burst. I've seen it before. Never quite seen it on limes or Calamoundin, but it happens on the kumquat. So I put that in the shade. So these are all the winter survivors of the winter freeze that we had here in Texas. I protected all the potted ones inside the barn shed, and the big ones were in the big metal barn. And we have two Satsumas in ground that I covered with frost cloth. They took some damage on their green branches, but they survived. A lot less damage from last year because the Texas winter freeze was not as severe, but it's still damaging because it got down to 20s for several days. So that's the killer right there. It's not really just the temperature drop, it's the how long it is frozen, because these are rated a certain temperature for cold hardy, but that's only for like an hour or two probably, then they start taking damage. So yeah, there's something they don't tell you on the label. All right, so we'll start with this one right here. So I didn't cover this last year, I forgot. This is labeled, this is bought at Lowe's, so that's a dead giveaway that this is most likely a mislabel. It's page Mandarin. I look at what page Mandarin looks like. They don't look like this. This looks like oranges, but as you can see, it's flowering already, and I have not harvested everything yet. I might today. And but I did taste it. We harvested probably like 3 of these. They taste really good, sweet, and there's a strong flavor of pomelo. So this might be orange pomelo hybrid. I don't know, I'm just not very familiar or haven't done the research yet, but they have that pomelo taste to it. This is the first time, last year was the first time it fruited more than one. So it fruited, I think, 6 to 7, and they're quite big. The one I harvested are bigger than these. But this year it's just loaded with flowers. So it didn't flower like this last time. I think it has something to do probably with the early spring, or the temperature being up in the 80s, mid 80s all the time, and woke everything up. And I'll show you real quick. The grass right there is green already, and we're in zone 8B, East Texas, Northeast Texas. So I got to do some research. If you guys know what this one is, potentially with hint of pomelo, not just hint, there's a big chunk of its taste is pomelo, sweet and pomelo like. Leave a comment. I don't know what it is. All right, so next right here we'll do the Persian lime. This guy is always loaded. I have to water this like crazy because I guess I did a really good job with the good draining mix that I put. It drains fast and you can see it wilt right away, so just have to keep watering it. And a lot of the lime that, I'm just kind of letting that rot in there and do their thing. That's how nature provides for its trees anyway. It's all the fruits and leaves that just kind of decompose around it. So this will be loaded, probably 50 Persian limes from last year. And of course some of this citrus are self-thinning, meaning you don't have to worry about them overproducing, they'll drop what they cannot support. So just leave them be. Or if you think you want bigger fruits, then you can thin it out, and then of course that will get you much bigger one. But in my opinion, even though they're smaller, you'll get more, and totally up to you. But you don't have to worry about thinning them out. They'll do their thing. They'll drop everything if they can't support it. I also fertilized this already. You might be able to see some of the fertilizer. There it is. It's all organic citrus stone, and I put some organic potassium also. This is long activating enzymes, so we'll have to kind of break it down. But the beauty of that is it's organic. Everything here in this hobby farm is organic. You don't burn your you don't risk burning any of your trees or plants because it's slow release. All right, and I do the only thing is you do have to put a lot more than synthetic because and you got to put it a little bit earlier so that by the time it activates, it's when the tree will need it. Another thing I forgot to mention is that there's a lot of growth, so a lot of this green growth right here will be the flowers. And the Page Mandarin, aka unknown Page Mandarin, is gonna be loaded with flowers. And the smell of citrus flower is just amazing. It's kind of like Sampaguita jasmine. It's very, very fragrant. All right, so Persian lime right here, loaded. Ponkan Mandarin. They skipped last year. They did not. They barely flowered. They did not like that transfer to a bigger pot that I did. Now the roots most likely established. It grew some green branches, which is good. Last year it was just kind of a lot of dead branches, kind of like that. I still got to prune all this. There's a lot of dieback. So, but the brown wood has hardened already, which is good. Now we got new, kind of like water spout growth. And I'm gonna keep those, not gonna trim them, simply because I don't have enough new growth on this one. But all the new growth from last year, with the new growth this year, we're getting some blooms. And it's not as heavy as the Persian lime, but I think all of this new growth right here, all this tender green, will have flowers. So I'll do an update next week, see how these flowers are coming along. So new growth here also. And there's some blooms right there. All right, so there's two of this Ponkan. Let's go to the other one. I bought these at Harris Nursery in Tyler. I did check, they are Ponkan. However, if they only have one fruit, they start looking like a sumo. But when they have plenty of fruit, they look like Ponkan. So there you go. We got a lot of fruit from their first year coming out of the nursery. Then they took a break, and they decided not to flower at all last year, trying to recover, I guess. And now they have all this green growth. This is the other Ponkan, and it's just loaded with flowers. Thing I look for would be kind of like that one right there. So there's like something's eating it, or some insect. So this one right here also. Gotta watch out for grasshoppers. They love new growth, and those is it the shallow tail? I mean, they're beautiful butterflies, but bring their caterpillars here, man. They eat all the green growth of citrus. So gotta watch out for those. When I don't mind them eating the leaves because they turn out to be all this beautiful butterflies, but once the citrus is kind of established, like the Arctic frost, I let them just eat that. But the tiny ones like this, I transfer them, I move them away so they can eat the more established citrus, because there's enough leaves to support, so it's not a big deal. But on these new ones right here, I have to transfer them because they'll just eat everything. All right, so Ponkan right here. Okay, so we're getting. So I'll do an update next week to see how much flowers or even little fruits they kept. All right, not a citrus. This is a jabuticaba. We'll probably do another video on this once it kind of recovers. It's getting new leaves. All right, one of our favorites, Calamoundin or Calamansi. This guy is loaded right now. It already flowered, but it's still flowering. But there's a lot of baby fruits already. I don't know if you can see them right there. There are some that are kind of growing now, and this is just after harvesting it last year with hundreds of fruits. There's a lot of green growth, meaning more flowers to come. Here we go. So that one right there. So it's doing another flush of growth. You can see here those branches, twigs that we harvested. So we got a lot of Calamoundin from this one. It's still flowering, and it has kind of almost medium size. There's still some we forgot to harvest. You can see there's orange one right there. So this will be, it flowered inside the shed while protecting it. So they're self-fertile. You don't need pollinators. But we do have other citrus here and other Calamoundin. All right, so this is another, these are the same age. This one got stunted because it's not happy with the pot, and I didn't realize until much later that it got root rot. So I have to save it by cutting most of its leaves and branches and let the roots kind of develop again. So, and it did. And it's flowering like crazy. It even has fruit. But like I said, if the roots can't handle it, they'll just drop this off. If they can, they're fine with it, you know. All right, another one that is got root rot because I wasn't paying attention is this one. It's the same age as this really big one right here. So let's take a look at this Calamoundin here. All right, that's the same one. As you can see, it got that one got stunted on its growth. Look at the caliper on this one. I let this one kind of not bush out. I think it's one of those erect variety. So this one is full of fruits. There's some tiny ones, medium size, and it's still flowering. So we'll get another good harvest out of this one. Just want to show you, this is also a Calamoundin, Calamansi. And all my citrus, because I'm always kind of paranoid before, even though they get root rot, I do make sure the root flare is above ground, so there's no danger in that. Kind of like this page, man. Look at that big root right there, kind of sticking out. I'm in there, yeah. Is that root flare? I don't know how to say it. Not the root ball. I think it's kind of like the root flare, kind of right there. And the same thing as this one. It's just kind of hidden with leaves right now, and I'll clear those. All right, going back to this one. So this one is recovering. It survived. As you can see, I left a few leaves right there. I cut it, and it's gonna do its recovery. I made sure also that the roots are sticking out. This one right here. Drop the phone. All right here. Gotta make sure that that's also showing right there. And let's see. where were we? Right here. Republic of Texas orange. So this one got bald. It dropped all its leaves. Didn't fruit last year. So this is all growth this year, whatever, the tiny green. And it's also flowering like crazy, but it's dropping its leaves and it's forming new ones, which is good. So its counterpart is this guy right here. This was loaded with fruits, probably more than 100, and it broke a lot of the branches. I have to kind of trim those. Those are still kind of like just snapped. There's one here where I have to zip tie because it just pulled it right there. So that branch going in there is dead. So hopefully that will heal around it. But kind of self-pruned itself. So I gotta cut this properly. Look at this one's kind of nasty halfway. You don't want any of these dead branches. They might hold some diseases and whatnot. Same thing over there. So new growth though, lots of greens and flowers. So hopefully we'll get more fruit from this. Typically what they do is they take a break. They have an off year where they don't fruit a lot, because if you've seen the previous video, this guy was loaded. And we still have fruits. And these are super sweet at this point, like super sweet. All right, there's still some more right here. All right, Meyer lemon. Lots of fruits. We harvested a lot, and the one we harvested are the massive ones. Full of flowers. This is the improved Meyer lemon. And this is the one, it's kind of like bushy. This is our oldest one, I think. And this is just loaded with Meyer lemons and with new flowers. And we still have fruits right there. And you don't need to harvest citrus right away. As mentioned in previous videos, they do, you can keep them like refrigerators. Republic of Texas orange right here. Let's see. Where's the other Meyer lemon? Oh, it's right there. There's another one right here, full of flowers also. I think it has one fruit right there, or several actually. That one and a few more loaded with flowers also. There's another lemon right there. So another improved Meyer lemon. Shedding its leaves, turning yellow, new growths coming out along with the flowers. Okay. And finally our Arctic frost, which were super loaded last year. When I go around, as you can see, the Sidjo persimmon is awake. Let me go over here, and we still have fruits. We've been harvesting since November. This one are super over right now. I'm gonna pull those later. But it also got a lot of broken branches because of the weight, and I gotta cut those. Lots of cuts, a lot of broken branches, but it's growing new green growth right there. So it had an amazing year last year, so it might be an off year this year, but who knows. These are heavily fertilized also with organic citrus stone, so that they can recover. I don't see any flowers yet on this one, but the growths are just starting. Like I said, it might be an off year this year since they did insanely well last year. Here's the other one. Lots of broken branches from this one as well, because of the weight. But let's see. Yes, there's also green growth, but no flowers yet, so it might be a little late. Oh, I see some right there. Okay, so it's starting to. Okay, so that's our kind of citrus update. with potted citrus. And I'll do an update on the two Satsumas, Owari and Seto, I think, or Miho. I can't remember which one. They're in ground, and we have one flying dragon rootstock that grew from the dead Negami kumquat.